The other question is, do you find it difficult for modern Africans to embrace traditional African cultures? Uh, no, I don't find it difficult. I'm thinking that in the 40 years ago, maybe, because there was a general sense that Western culture was vibrant at the time, and there was still such a large gap from the colonial, in the advantages of the colonial system that developed Western Europe. I mean, Belgium, for instance, was built with money from Congo. And the first epidemics of sleeping sickness in Africa happened here in Busongora. It led up to the creation of the Pasteur Institute in Belgium, and the current vaccine thing that we have with Johnson & Johnson. All that's developed from here, the initial vaccination labs in the world. But the fact that all the wealth had been taken to Europe, Europe developed. If you go to Belgium now, a lot of the streets there, the big houses are built on money of Congolese rubber. So they grew very quickly. So within a period of 20, 30 years, they jumped so far ahead of Africa in terms of economic development that Africans actually began believing that European civilization was superior to theirs. They didn't realize, in fact, that European civilization could not exist without the destruction of Africa. So many people still believed that they had to emulate white people. And so when you talk about African tradition, they're associated with loss of dignity and skills. But that was 30, 40 years ago. Right now, Africa has caught up in terms of technology. There's only when we got independence in 1960, the money stopped going abroad. They've tried other systems to try and continue that system, but it ground to a halt. The plantations where which were supplying marble and stones from here, they stopped supplying them. So all these mansions they had built in the 1900s, because of slavery and the early 20th century, the big Baroque mansions in Europe, the money stopped coming. If money stops coming, it means you cannot repair a broken window. You cannot do the lighting. You can't pay for the electric bills to maintain a house with 100 rooms, with 40 rooms, with 20 rooms. So what happened? All these houses have been destroyed in Europe. They got to a point where they started smashing them down. The estates were broken up. You know, somebody who had a plantation in Africa could afford to buy 50 square miles in the Midlands. All that was taken back. All those lords lost the money. So now the architecture in Europe changed. They began using steel, which is cheaper, and glass, and wood, and paper to make walls, dry walls. So the architecture has changed to account for the independence of Africa from 1954, 57 to the 1980s. And those houses they built are now brothels. The banks they had are no longer that rich, and the money stopped flowing away. So Africans have caught up, even in terms of technology. Like now, a lot of Africa, a lot of the electronics that are being used in Europe and America are being manufactured here. The clothing industry, light industry, a lot of stuff is coming from here, not to mention the minerals. So we no longer are out. In North America now, the Africans in diaspora have the highest per capita level of education. We have more graduates at high school, university, and postgraduate than any other demographic. So, a lot of the apps they're using computers are coming from Africa or from Africans in diaspora. So there's no longer that technological terror and fear and sense of mystery. It's ended. And the people who now realize that, oh, you know what, we can do the same things, they are the same people who are interested to find out about their history. Where did we come from? Was everything they told us true about us? How come we have this country? How come we have this land? How did we get it? What happened? And of course, because of restrictions in terms of how you build things there, they come home and they realize that Africa is a good place to do business. But you can't do business in an environment any which way you want, because there's already a culture there. There's language there, You have to be able to communicate with those people, and they're speaking African languages, so it's good for you to learn Swahili in order to speak to your staff. So now, then you want to know how to study Swahili, you want to know how to study Luganda, you want to know how Busongora speak. You know, tourism is now a big thing because we have retained the parks, which they took from us and turned into national parks, are now still money income earners. So now people are trying to find out why is it the animals survive here, because Busongora don't hunt. We normally don't eat meat, you know. So we have more animals as a result. And recently, of course, it's become very popular now, you know, because of the film industry in Hollywood. I think it was 2008 or 2007, the 4 top grossing films in Hollywood were all by black directors. And that wasn't even the best year, right? Now, the main actors may have been non-blacks, but they didn't realize that a lot of the money, and not only that, Hollywood, the vast majority of employees in Hollywood, in the film industry in North America, in Canada, in Vancouver, in New York, are black people. Those are the sweepers, the people who are doing the behind the camera work, the city workers who are there, the police. A lot of these people are black people. Then also the audience, 70% of the film goers in North America are black. Okay, it's part of the cultural milieu there. So the money, the film industry realized, oh, we have to cater to the needs of these people. That's why now you have the big films that have come out, including Black Panther and all that. And why are they catering to this? Because they want to see themselves on the screen. They don't always want to watch other people only. And if you want to show black people things that are interesting in them, you're going to have to show some of their culture. So the movie Coming to America was big in the 80s. Now we have Black Panther, it's big now. And all the other movies that are coming are still. So now when you talk to a black person, do you want African culture? Absolutely. I mean, people are now going to watch these movies wearing dashikis and African clothes and traditional, and they're not born here, they're black Americans. But the black American demographic is extremely wealthy now. Besides the level of education they have, and even the blacks who are living here. You know, you've heard of Aliko Dangote. He's a billionaire, but he's not the only African billionaire. There are so many African billionaires now, and those are billionaires. If you count the millionaires, it's massive. So there are people with a lot of money here now to spend, and we still have things we can get. You cannot buy land in India, you can still buy land in Africa. You can't buy land in China, you can still buy land in Africa. They've maxed out a lot of the technological growth there, a lot of the infrastructure growth. There's nowhere to expand. So Japanese money is coming here, Chinese money is coming here, Indian money is coming here, money from the Arabian Peninsula is coming here, Kazakhstan, all those people are investing here. All the from East European countries, Russia, they all want to come here, either for safaris or for whatever, for investment. The returns on investment in Africa are extremely high. So what's happening is that people are now rediscovering African culture and they are proud of it. And it's no longer being abused as much as it was at that time. So no, I don't find it, to answer the question, is it difficult for modern Africans to embrace traditional African cultures? No. It's now easy to do, and it's actually attractive now to do.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain.